Your attack mentality.
Yeah.
How many of you feel that these microphones are not super awesome for class?
They don't work.
Okay, small group, I can take that.
They're not great.
Okay, so we'll get started with more people filter in, that's fine. These slides are going to be on your Canvas site for you, the Class of 2022 Canvas site. There's also a couple of handouts that I'm going to show you on the .cam that'll be available for you too, some study resources. But basically what we want to do with this time real quick today is just to go through, I have the agenda for you. We're going to go through what is part one, which is going to be 2 minutes because you all know what part one is, right? It's just going to be a quick review of like what that's going to be for you. How does registration work, which I feel like is probably the biggest question that you all have. So we'll spend some time on that. When should you take part one? Like literally when in the year should you be doing it? And then we'll review some preparation study tools, and these are the specific ones that we'll go through for you that we have available for you now, okay? So what is part one? It's a qualifying examination. You need to take part one so that you can continue forward in your dental career. And it is designed to assess your knowledge of biomedical and dental science and your ability to recall and apply that knowledge. So the style of questions that you're going to see on this examination are very practical in terms of they're going to give you a situation and say, what do I do with this scenario? And your job is to recall over the past year and a half, 2 years, okay, I know what to do in this situation based on the knowledge that I gained in X class, okay? So those questions are going to be centered around 4 different content areas: biochemistry, physiology, microbiology, pathology, anatomic sciences, dental anatomy, and occlusion. So those are your 4 focus areas to get yourself ready for the exam. The exam takes place in 1 day, 8 hours, okay? You have 400 multiple choice questions. So 80% of the questions are just going to be standalone. Like that's just, the question is what it is. 20% of them are going to be testlet based, what MBDE calls testlet based, and it's essentially a case study. So you'll have, a short case that you need to read and then answer 4 or 5 different questions that all relate back to that one case. So that's your 80-20 breakdown on those. Results are reported as pass, fail. Okay, that's the big thing to think about is, did I pass, did I fail, right? And that's what schools are going to see is pass, fail. But there is a score associated. To me, and I think to most people, the score really comes into play if you do fail, because what you're going to want to look at is the breakdown of that score. How did I do on the 4 content areas? Where am I weak? Where do I need to make some improvements in my study habits and those sorts of things? If you get that pass, you're really not going to be worried about your score. Okay? Yes.
If you're applying to residency after, do schools get to see exact score, or they just see pass fail as well?
See? If they request it, they can see. But if you're just sending it and they don't request it, it'll just say pass fail. Okay? But so the different residency programs have the option to request it. Okay? I knew that question was going to come up. I did. I called it. I know. All right. So some important things to think about in terms of MBDE are the policies, either from the school or from the examination itself, right? So on the school side of things, you must pass part 1 to graduate. I think that makes sense, right? You must pass part 1 to enter the clinic in D3. So in this coming summer, you cannot participate in the clinic until you have passed your board, okay? And you must attend the Kaplan Week and pass the mock examination to be given approval to register. Okay, so I'm going to talk about registration here on the next slide, because I know there's going to be 20 questions on that. But that's the school policy around registration. And then the MBDE policies, you have to wait 90 days before retesting. So if you take it and you fail, you need 90 days between before you can take it again. And you have 5 attempts. And it's 5 attempts over 5 years is the way that they the way that they put it, 5 and 5. However, in order to continue through with your education, you're not going to spread it out over 5 years. You're going to want to make sure that you get through that, okay? Best practice, don't fail, right? Okay, so how does registration work? Step 1, you need to create your DENT PIN, okay? DENT PINs are the identifying piece of information that you'll do for any dental-related standardized exams. So for the DATs, for the hygienic exams, for residency, like PASS, those sorts of things, it's going to be the same DENT PIN. So it's just, the important thing to remember with this is, okay, your name now needs to match when you do it again for part 2, or else your records aren't going to match, or you're going to get some kind of error in the system where you're going to have to pay more money. Nobody wants to pay more money if this test is expensive, right? Yes?
So if our DENT PIN that we had for the DAT, like our name has changed since then, do we make a new DENT PIN?
I think you need to update your former DENT PIN. I think they want you to continue on with the same profile, so you can call or send an email to the, go to that website, the DENT PIN website, and they're going to have information on how to update and maintain that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing you're going to want to do is review the Part 1 guide. It's available with this link. It's going to be available in PDF form on your Canvas site. I've already pulled it out for you so that you just, if you don't want to go to the website, it'll just be on your Canvas site. It's like reading the terms and conditions on something, right? Because when you submit your application, which is the next step, there's going to be a little button that says, did you read the guide, yes or no? Try to hit yes honestly, okay? Read the terms and conditions. It's actually really useful information to read through. It's going to be really helpful to, like, in your preparation, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too. So just make sure you read the guide so that when you submit your application, you can say yes. So you submit your application, and then that's it. You're done for the minute, right? There's nothing else to do in terms of registration at that point in time. Because the next step is eligibility. Okay, and because we are an accredited university, eligibility comes from the university to ADA saying we certify that this person has completed the appropriate curriculum and that they are ready to take this examination. So in order to be eligible, you need to have completed and passed all of your coursework up to this point. That's sort of a given, right? The other things that you need to do is you need to pass the Kaplan mock exam. And if you fail the Kaplan mock, you need to wait and take the next Kaplan mock. Okay? And it's not like I failed Kaplan mock on Friday, so I'm going to take the next one on Monday. It's the same thing as if you fail the boards. You're going to have a time frame in between that you're going to need to wait before you can take that next one. Okay? The main kicker with this one is that you cannot register for a date until your eligibility has been confirmed. Your eligibility cannot be confirmed until you pass the Kaplan mock. Okay? So with that, 1 second, Ashley, and then I'll get to you. I just want to stress, if you want to set your date, pass that mock. Okay? That's going to be your best bet. And the reason that we have something like this in place is because I need to, not me necessarily, the school needs to be able to say everybody's on that same playing field before they go into an examination, okay? And this is our measure for that. Yes?
What is the passing rate for the Kaplan mock?
You know, I have to look back and check. I honestly don't know what it was. Do you remember offhand, Dr. Williams? I don't think it was like a shocking rate or anything like that, but I can find out and send it out in an email to you guys. Let me write that down. Because you know I will. Pass rate for. Okay. Next question. Yeah.
If the Kaplan mock does not go well, how much time in between before taking the next one?
I think we have the next one set up in October. I have to check, but we do have the date set for that. That is something that we proctor in-house.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw this again.
How long does it take to get the mock exam back?
The results,
Yeah.
usually about 2 weeks. Yeah, about 2 weeks. Yes.
When do we take the Kaplan mock? Like at the end of our Kaplan week?
Yes, you take it on October 4th. Yeah. Oh, wait, no, so the next one's not October, because that didn't make any sense.
Probably November.
November, thank you.
Okay, almost
Yeah.
30 days.
Come on, I saw Alicia, did you have?
Yes.
What?
If somebody is going to the ODA, that's on Friday. So the annual session is on Friday and we have the mock
Yes.
also on Friday. So can we take it Thursday?
No, you have to take them off on Friday. So I don't know when that was scheduled. It was scheduled before I got here, but it's been in place since I came on board in April. And that's not something that we can move at this point in time that I understand, which I know that ODA is that same day. But you do need to, at this point in time, you need to be there to take that exam.
What
Okay?
time of today is?
It's 8, it starts at 8 a.m.
Is it 8 hours as well?
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
finish early, leave.
Okay.
You just do your board questions, you can get out
It's not a long drive.
Yeah, it's a long drive to Columbus. So the question of points is that it's the same day as ODA. I don't know when it was scheduled, we can look at the history of that, but at this point in time, I mean, it's not something that we can
It's
do.
not something we move, but I think the ODA,
Huh?
I think the ODA is date is actually moved, because it usually is in September. The ODA is usually mid-September, and I'm not sure why, but for whatever reason this year it was.
It got shifted?
to-
Okay, that makes sense then. Yes.
So what if someone can't attend because of like another, like a prior engagement, like I have a conference that I'm presenting at, so what would I do? I was planning on trying to take early, or can I do it remotely on my computer? I don't know how it works.
So you can't take it remotely
It's in
because
Pittsburgh, so.
it has to be proctored at, it's treated like a true
Yeah,
mock
so what do I
examination.
do?
So send me an email.
Okay.
So that we can look at that and figure out what we want to do. Okay? It's important that we make sure that we keep everybody on that same level
I
playing
know,
field.
that's what I meant. I thought I would take it on Thursday, but.
Yeah, exceptions are gonna definitely be kept to a minimum because it's important that everybody gets that same fair shot at this, right? So send me an email, we'll take a look at the situation, that's a one-off sort of thing, so we'll have to look at that closer before I can say like what we're gonna do with that. Okay, so. Drop my clicker. Okay, so that's the deal with registration, okay? So when should you take NBD Part 1? Our recommendation is winter D2, so this coming winter, right? And like I said, taking NBD Part 1 means you need to set a date. In order to set a date, you need to pass the mock. In order to pass the mock, you need to start studying, or have already started studying, okay? So just make sure that you're working on that, yes?
Once you reach all of those checkpoints and you are able to set a date, like, are they exclusive? Do most people get the date that they want? Like, how does that work?
So I know that especially with Part 2, it's a lot more difficult. Part 1, I don't know what like the
Part one
success.
is easier, because
Yeah.
it's one day, versus part 2, which is
2
2
days.
days. And you have to do 2 successive days, and so part 2 is a little harder to schedule, further out.
Okay.
In part 1. And it also depends on how flexible you are. Because are you taking it, are you going to metric around here, are you going somewhere?
We can take it at any prometric
You can take it at any prometric.
Okay.
Some people wait till they're going home, and they
Right.
take it
Yeah.
one, closer to wherever home is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, and it's important to remember, it is not uncommon in medical school settings to have to travel to take a board examination.
Right.
That's really a common expectation. So don't keep in mind that like, oh, I'm just gonna sign up and take it down the street and it's gonna be fine. Like, that might not be your case.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you.
And that stinks, but that's also sort of part of
It's
that.
very typical.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
typical. And remember that a lot of like Ohio State is coming home for Howard.
Yeah.
Home often is in a regular area. So they're gonna be looking at, Mentor and Middleburg Heights.
Yeah.
Or-
those sort of local locations.
Prometrics are around here
Yeah.
as well, so.
Yeah, yes.
Do you know how far in advance we have to schedule it to be able to take it, like in general?
I mean, I think probably a month or two in advance. I don't
It's that
know.
far.
I honestly don't know.
Doesn't
It's really not
the
that far.
It's like the same as the
registration
DAT
fee
scheduling.
increase the closer
Just
to
in
the exam that
Center.
you register?
Sorry, hold on, say that for everybody.
I believe it's the same as scheduling the DAT. You just like go on, you find Prometric Center, and you schedule a date. So it's just a matter of what's available when.
Right.
Yeah,
But
sometimes you can schedule
but-
things last minute.
Here's the trick,
I wanted to ask if the registration fee increases the closer you are to the exam date. I believe that is true.
I think, so in the MUD Part 1 guide that you're gonna get on the campus site, there's a table that outlines the costs. And it does have things like, if you change the date, here's the cost. If you cancel last minute, here's the cost. So it should have information like that about like if you schedule, you know, tomorrow, is there any sort of additional cost? So it'll be in that Part 1 guide. That's why that's actually really, really important for you guys to read, because it has those sorts of information, but also consequences of like procrastination, okay? Which we'll talk a little bit about. So good questions on that, right? So we do want you to take it in winter. And so we've built into your schedule study and exam time. And that's sort of your ideal window. So again, if you want to set that date, get studying now, pass your mocks, you'll get the date, okay? So you have time November 18th to January 6th. That's your fall break, specifically built in for D2s so that you guys can have that time away to study and get yourselves ready. Sound good? Sorry?
No.
One more time.
Take it.
Oh, yes, built-in study time and taking the exam time, yes. You gotta use the table mics, Dr. Williams. All right, so preparation and study tools. What are we doing to help you get ready, right? So your first tool is the guide. I've mentioned it like 20 times. Just read it. It's like 13 pages. You'll be okay, all right? It has test specifications. It has the exam content. It has question breakdowns. It has formatting samples so that you can see what you're getting into, okay? It has pricing tables. It has registration guidelines. It just has what you need. Like just read it. You'll be okay, okay? So that's your first tool. Then we have the Kaplan Review Week itself. One thing I want to say about Kaplan Review Week, okay? It is mandatory attendance. Attendance will be taken. Attendance will be the same policy as what's in your student handbook. If you don't know the policy in your student handbook, that is only a detriment to you at this point in time. Read the new handbook and make sure you understand what that attendance policy is. So that's statement number one. Statement number two, we understand how much advice trickles down from upperclassmen. We understand not all upperclassmen love Kaplan, okay? We also understand that no board preparation system is 100% perfect and gives every single person in this classroom exactly what they need, okay? Everybody has different learning styles, everybody has different ways that they're going to succeed, and Kaplan may not be perfect for you, right? That being said, we as a school still have to make sure that we have a standardized method to say you are ready or not ready to take this exam. You may feel that you're ready, and that's great. I want to trust you on that. But I have to hold you being ready to the same standards as I hold somebody else to being ready. This is that metric for that. So, while information trickles down and feedback trickles down and people say, oh my gosh, Kaplan, it wasn't for me, that's fine. You don't have to like it at the end of the day, but it is something that's built in to this curriculum to help you, okay? It's not gonna help you if you don't take advantage of it. So, attendance is mandatory because it is part of the certification to be eligible to take boards. And that includes review sessions that are run by Kaplan personnel. There will be a few sessions that are run by your own faculty, so reviewing different topic areas. And then there's the mock examination itself. Yes?
Is Kaplan like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday?
Yeah, 8 to 5 for this week. So September 30th to October 4th with a lunch break. We're not cruel. Okay. So you must attend and pass the mock in order to be approved for the registration. We talked about that like 20 times. If that message hasn't gotten across, come see me, because then we're missing something here. Okay? One thing that I do want to mention, Dr. Stoyanov has specifically requested, he's going to be doing a pathology review session. Pathology is historically a weak part of part 1 for this school, okay? So it's a systemic issue. We can't fix it overnight. One thing we can do is give you some more time with it. So what Dr. Stoyanov is specifically asking is to send in topics to him via email that you want to see in a pathology review session. He doesn't want to just stand up there and say, I think you guys need this. He wants to know what you need, okay? So he's looking for that feedback. So please email Dr. Stoyanov and let him know what you want to see in the review session for pathology, okay? Then further things, Board Vitals. How many of you have actually logged into Board Vitals? Yeah, that's about right. I look at the stats for that and I'm like, wow, we did not roll that out well. Okay, so Board Vitals is a subscription service that the university bought for you last year. If you don't know that, that's fine, I understand. You know it now.
Also
Okay.
need the email, the weekly email.
Also,
You
yes.
put it out in the weekly email.
Yeah, so it is there, it's available for you. Make sure that you get logged in and give it a try. So there is a huge question bank there for you. And what I actually really, really love about this service is not just the questions, it's rationale on the different answer options. Okay, so you can actually click on it and say, I don't really know why this one's right. Well, it's gonna have like, and it's not just like this one's right because I said so, it's like 3 paragraphs telling you why this one's right, okay, and why the other ones are wrong. The other thing that I really like about this service is if you disagree with a question or you're not sure that they've really got it settled down right, they actively communicate you with somebody. So you can send in an email specific to that question and say, I don't think this is right. And they're gonna get back to you and talk to you about it and figure it out. And if it isn't right, they're gonna make those changes. So it's a very active system where they are working to collaborate with faculty across the country to make sure that these questions are a learning tool for you. The other thing you can do is set up mock exams, either timed, untimed, with hints, without hints, and you can collect the data on how you're doing in the different content areas. So this can be very useful. Log in, give it a chance, okay? And then the last thing that I have for you is honestly, reach out to the educational support services here at the university. They will help you through so many different things. So study tips, success, fighting procrastination. Lord, help me, I understand. I can be the queen of procrastination. In this case, it's only going to do you harm. Why? Because you can't set a date until you're approved. You can't be approved until you pass the mock. Okay, so don't procrastinate. That's like the key message there, okay? So a couple of tools that you'll see that are gonna go on your Canvas site later today. Let's do the document camera here. So things like finding time to study, talking about setting goals. Oh my God, did I get really loud? Holy crap. Okay. They also have built-in study schedules that you can look at, time management schedules. I mean, this is no different than a Google Calendar, and I know that most people are going to go to those sorts of things, but if you're a very tactile learner, a visual learner, and you want to see what I'm doing, then use the built-in table that they have for you, or weekly breakdowns as well. Understanding your learning style, okay? I use the example, I am very anti-auditory learning. Right, in one ear, out the other. That's why immediately, as soon as a question came up that I don't have the answer to, I got to write it down because I'm not going to remember being auditory. This is why I surround myself with Heather, because she is a great auditory learner and she makes up that weakness for me. But I understand that about my learning style, and I'm not going to go into a situation where I'm going to be relying strictly on auditory learning, right? So that means study tools that I would not use. I would not use videos. Okay, I'm not going to learn from them. They're not going to be the same. Whereas a lecture where I can sit down, take notes, ask questions, be involved in what's going on, that I'm going to learn a lot better from. So understand your own learning style so that you can understand what's going to be the best preparation for you. Because just because something works really well for Ashley does not mean that it's going to work well for Nisha. You guys are 2 different people, 2 different study habits, right? So understand what's going to work better for you. Fighting procrastination, okay? It's great and grand that you would rather be on YouTube on your phone for a few minutes, but a few minutes turns into an hour, and an hour turns into an hour and a half, and you still have to study. Okay, so what kind of tips can you do to fight those sorts of, procrastination habits? And then the forgetting curve. How many of you remember every single lecture from FLS last year? Okay, how are you going to remember every single lecture from FLS last year? Yeah, exactly. Okay, so use some of these study tips to figure out those solutions of 10 minutes a day to bring back some of those memories or to bring back some of that knowledge. The important thing through dental school is learning and retention. Okay, I want to be able to ask you 10 years from now a question on dental anatomy. Next time I see you at an alumni event, right? You should be able to have retained that information because that's the best way to be the best practitioner that you can be, okay? So those are some study tools that are going to be available for you. And then, let's see, good click the thing. Yes,
Can I make an additional announcement?
yes, please.
Is this on?
Hit the push button.
Okay.
So we are gonna have a Mastery app group discount available for you guys. It's gonna be $105, so it dropped down from $150 to $105. It is basically like a year-long subscription. And we will start giving you guys like the sheet for you guys to sign up. I need at least 10 people to sign up in order for that group discount to be in place. Magna will send out, or you guys will Venmo Magna the 105, and then we will send that to the company, and then they'll give you access within that same business day or that following day. So if you guys are interested, we need at least 10 people for the group discount to be in place. What's that?
I think it's the 3-month one was $90, like along without a discount. If you guys look into that.
Right, so they changed the subscription. So they changed it to subscription. So this year it's a whole new system. So they changed it to subscription. It's a 1 year long. So it's right, but again, it's been changed to a subscription. So the new price is 105. But only if 10 people above sign up, then we can make it. But not everyone's obligated to do it.
What was the name of that one?
Mastery app.
Mastery app? Okay. The other ones that I've heard of are like B&B Dental is another big one that students have used with some success. Trying to think if there was one more. Anybody who's struggling with anatomy, I would recommend checking out Complete Anatomy. That's a good app. So I mean, there's a lot of study resources available to help you guys get through the course. And I think it's great that you guys do those kinds of group subscriptions. So wonderful. So this is what I spent my morning on. This is what I do. This is what I paid for. Is to look at memes online, right? That's a joke. Please don't take me at that. You guys didn't get the joke. I don't do this. I promise. No, I just wanted to have some fun and to say this won't hurt a bit. Okay, it's boards. You guys are going to be doctors of dental medicine. This is a big deal. It's going to be a little bit painful, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't know that you can handle it. Okay, so it's okay to remember that the future is you being a dentist. And then also remember, the expectation of your future dentistry is that you are a wonderful multitasker. So you can get through classes, you can get through board prep, you can get through all your social things, your councils, your different clubs and organizations. You can handle all of this, right? Dentists are known for being wonderful multitaskers. So my advice to you is get studying, stay positive, okay? And keep well. Understand the difference between what a good night's sleep is going to be better for you than an overnight cram session, okay? So that's it. That's what I have for you for workout. Yes?
I was wondering if you had information on the national pass rate for part 1 as well as our school specific pass rate?
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Okay.
Definitely. You write that one down. So the pass rate for the mock, that was one question. And then national and school pass rate for the boards themselves, right?
And can we know like the first time pass rate for those?
Yeah.
Pass rate. Okay.
I just need to
And the rate for Kaplan first time passing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and first time. Okay, not a problem. So I may not be able to get all of those numbers to you guys today, but I will have them to you no later than next week. Okay? Yes.
a typical day during Kaplan week look like for us? Do we just like come in, sit on the computer for 8 hours, or?
So you come in, there's gonna be people who are gonna lead the review sessions. You'll get a schedule, probably next week. We're just finalizing a couple sessions with a few different faculty. But the schedule will say, like, this is what we're reviewing from this time to this time, lunch break, reviewing this time to this time. And so there are people in here leading the sessions. So it's not just like sitting here watching videos or anything like that. Yes?
Is it true that if we attend Kaplan Week and if we fail the first time, that they'll pay for our second time?
Yeah, I think it's covered in your tuition.
Okay.
Please don't quote me on that yet. Let me find out for sure. Let me write that one down too. But I. So the question is there any cost for failing and needing to retake, right? Of the month.
Oh, what is the,
Okay.
I know you said that there was somewhere we can find some information, but do you know the cost of registering for board?
Off the top of my head, no, I didn't print that one out.
425.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Actually, that's not as I thought, because CAT was like 1,000, wasn't it? Maybe I just don't remember. It's been a long time.
Just the screen. You're not there.
I did take it twice. I was supposed to.
Okay.
Shoot, I was gonna go get it.
Anything else?
Seriously, the first time.
What is it?
Okay.
I thought it was.
Awesome. Absolutely. Want to make sure you guys are ready.